Hey there, everyone. Welcome to another class. This is something that I want to introduce to you to the fourth quarter. It's something that I'm going to call In Case You Missed It. So basically what's going to be is just reminders of what we did that day and with any sort of explanations that go with it. So, in case you missed it, Monday or Tuesday, the 24th or 25th, we did the 1812 DBQ. We started it. We learned how to use sources, right? How to write solid paragraphs, quotes, reasoning, things like that. So, first of all, DBQ, what is that? That is a document-based question. And this one is specifically on the War of 1812. So when we talk 1812, we're saying my ex wanted me back, but I said no. And that's going to be the whole idea behind the War of 1812, because basically the Revolutionary War was a spot where we fought against them. The War of 1812 is they want us back as a colony. But my ex wanted me back, but I said no. Can you relate? Can you relate? Basically, I married my first girlfriend. So I don't know if I relate to that one that well. But to do the DBQ, you need to analyze a whole bunch of different sources to answer one question. That's one question. And basically, what you need to do is write. And we're trying to write well. So how do we do that? How do we write well? So what we did in class is we went over basic stuff. We did this earlier, but I had to retouch on it. Just how to write a paragraph. There's topic sentences, which would be your top bun, sesame seed, delicious, like the top of a Baconator. Supporting sentences, which would be like your reasoning, your explanation, quotes, the whole main argument of that paragraph. For Baconator, it would be meat, cheese, and bacon. Perfect. That's all you need on a sandwich. And then, obviously, concluding sentences. So concluding sentences would be like something to wrap it up to go into the next one. So if like we were talking about Wendy's, the concluding sentence to that, the bottom bun, would be Baconators are the number one selling hamburger, thus it makes it a better chain. And speaking of the chain, Wendy's are da 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 da. You see what I did there? I linked the two. So I concluded the thought up top, and then I went to the next thought down below. That was just how to do a paragraph. And I also showed how to find sources or how to use sources and quotes. First of all, quotes need a home. They're like a lost, scared puppy. Okay? You don't see a lost, scared puppy and just leave it. You give it a home. But your parents need to be informed. So the audience needs to be informed why you're using that quote or why you're using that source. So you're not going to use a quote and just say, here's a quote, and just leave it out there. So if I used a Kanye quote where it's like, I don't read, or I've never read a book, but I just say that and I don't explain it, it makes no sense to you. So when we do this, your quotes need to have kind of like a setup, if that makes sense. So you need to quote it, and you need to tell me why that quote is important. But now there's a rule that I want us all to use. Quotes are like salt. A little goes a long way. Because the time of just quoting for your answer is over. We're not doing that anymore because it doesn't really make you answer the question. Someone else has answered the question for you. You're just putting it in quotes. That is going to be considered plagiarism from now on. Now, when you do these things, we're going to be taking, I think it's like 9 or 10 sources. So 9 or 10 sources to answer one question about the War of 1812. And you're going to have to use quotes. You're going to have to use evidence. You're going to have to do reasoning. The reasoning is probably the hardest part. Because a lot of times we have the reasoning of like, why did you do that? Because I did. But why? That wasn't a reason. Why did you do that? I did that painting because I wanted to express myself creatively. That's a reason. Okay, so when you have quotes, You have evidence in there, and you tell me why that's important. Your reasoning needs to match up the why. If I said a quote for Wendy's hamburgers being the best, and then my reasoning was Burger King hamburgers are good, which they most certainly are not, then that doesn't make sense. You need to tell me why you included that quote. What reasoning behind it? How does that make sense? So, what we did the first day set up the entire week. So if you missed that first day, you definitely need to listen to this video and the podcast I'm going to make for it. So we explained DBQs. It was the introduction to the War of 1812. My ex trying to get me back. We learned how to use sources and quotes and how to write a solid paragraph. And then if you do quotes and reasoning, that would be there too. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to shoot me an email. I'm on Twitter. No one ever reaches me that way. If you want to, you can. Otherwise, hope you guys have a great night, and we'll see you later. Bye.